Alarm.
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 This is Principal Martinez. Principal Martinez, Inspector Cobb.
How do you do, Inspector?
How do you do, Principal Martinez? I don't alarm your children. Alarm your children. Alarm your children.
Mickey boy, the Gauguin's worth more than 5 rooms of paintings in this place, and they're all alarmed.
Are you kidding me? There's no alarms. 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 There's alarms.
If it's moved, the detector sets off an alarm, and we're looking at like a 6-minute response time. And they send the alarm signal directly to the cops.
I wouldn't do that. The burglar alarm is set. A burglar alarm? On this dump? Get real.
The panic alarm was triggered from inside.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So the alarm wasn't triggered from someone breaking in, it was triggered from someone already in.
Yeah, that's why they're thinking the husband did it.
It must not cross this line. If you accidentally cross the line, you'll hear an alarm, then you receive a telephone call from our monitoring center.
Looks like we have competition. I don't know who it is. False alarm.
Officer, this is Dr. Kim.
Morning, Doctor. Someone broke into the office early this morning. The alarm company called.
What happened?
How do you know? She bolted out the back door.
What? Nance? Who do you think set off the alarm?
Lullis in Naples. It was brought here in 1903, in the heart of our parish. Now this.
No alarm, no witnesses, no sign of a forced entry. It looks like a smash and dash.
The butler. It was kind of the glue that kept the family together.
Just one butler. Very frugal for gazillionaires.
Okay, I'm leaving. Hey, by the way, I'm going to be putting alarms on the art.
Regardless.
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 The way was steep. Darvel kept on climbing. Regardless. Regardless. Regardless.
Regardless. Regardless. Regardless. I can't let you take a run at Svetlana Rankov.
Regardless of the reason, regardless of the reason, regardless of the reason, some friends you just know are going to be by your side for a while.
Regardless, kids like Jeremiah don't get into Princeton. He's going to be up against kids that have resumes 15 feet long.
So?
Surely, regardless of how cold the start of the life of the gooseberry might be, it is almost certainly destined for a warm ending.
Who don't know how to be alone for 5 minutes, regardless of how much they're loved.
At that point, it became a murder, regardless of circumstance. So the question becomes...
His motive is a primal urge to kill. Regardless of who the victim is, he kills at random.
Regardless, I'm going to need to ask all of you to join me at the precinct so I can interview you properly.
Estimate your importance. Regardless, you're coming back with us.
Guardian, that would explain his strength.
Regardless, she traveled across the universe to find him.
Regardless, you got her to go out with you. Congrats.
Indeed.
Well, regardless, there's no need for a barrier anymore. Let me take it down.
Equality.
Equality.
Equality. Equality.
Equality.
One of true equality, true equality, true equality. Rules were the building blocks of that equality, equality, equality. We learned them as new children.
Of supremacy has destroyed the truth of equality. Equality. Equality can nourish.
Partnership implies equality. 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 I'm good at this. We both know that.
Why cling to the founding principles of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Freedom, equality, individual rights.
Historic by-election can be the first step on the journey to women's equality.
What are you talking about? Hey, Jim. Equality for all right? 6 and up.
It just seems wrong to fight this hard for marriage equality and then get divorced.
First and foremost, I want to press for gender equality.
That's
What have you done to further gender equality? What have you done to balance the scales?
for women, which is absolutely nothing. Whereas gender equality legislation is one of your hallmarks.
But it could hurt me more than it hurts her.
See, every time a woman drops her trousers, promotion. Every time a man drops theirs, disciplinary action. Where's the equality in that?
Aircraft.
Aircraft. Aircraft. Aircraft.
Aircraft.
This was not a standard issue aircraft. Aircraft.
But this does seem like a standard issue lie.
I'm the captain of this aircraft.
I believe in you. I believe this plane will take off.
Excuse me. You intend to fly this aircraft today?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Huh.
We know they supplied hardware and aircraft, but North Korea locked down the Pacific Northwest.
Attention, unidentified aircraft. You are in a restricted airspace and not clear for landing.
Target is an aircraft somewhere over Ohio. Appears to be a modified 747.
I'm okay.
Boss, where does this aircraft go?
From the odd shape of this bagel, I'd say we're headed for Paris.
Lost at sea. No trace of aircraft or personnel was found.
The buyers will want to arrive and leave quickly, somewhere private, accessible by aircraft.
You know, because they got a listed destination. Every aircraft that takes off has to file one with the Aviation Administration.
That's well within regulations.
The aircraft failed, sir.
Resort.
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 Place, Fairmont Chateau on Lake Louise. We used to winter there. That's a really exclusive resort.
I told you hiking was crazy. We should have just bought plaid shirts and gone to a resort.
Grab a room.
Oh, like a hotel room?
Yeah, as a last resort.
Of course, yes.
Maybe if you took off your shirt.
Actually, I've resorted to something more exotic. I call it reading the instructions.
And we believe that animals should only be euthanized as a last resort.
Sam Siegel, 46 years old, got his start in real estate development, then he went on to launch the Sapphire Coast Resort and Casino in 1999.
Where am I gonna find another husband that wears sweatpants to work?
Resort where?
Maybe last resort.
Oh my God! Kenneth Plouffe is part owner of a resort in the Bahamas.
I was thinking you might benefit from a trip to Sage Creek.
Sage Creek? That's a loony bin.
/ health resort.
Do you know anybody else who would appreciate an all-expense-paid spa weekend at a 4-star resort in Big Sur?
No, I'm sorry, free what? Sorry, what?
I think her weekend just opened.
It's a pretty fluid bunch. I'm their last resort, you know?
Do you recognize any of these men? In different housing areas.
This is not a damn resort, dog. You will go where you are told. Back off!
In fact, it's so effective that the enemy has had to resort to espionage as a counter.
Cathedral.
Cathedral.
Rowing boats in the lake in Central Park.
Chinatown. Cathedral St. John Divine. Cathedral St. John Divine. Cathedral St. John Divine. Okay, in the subway.
Since we met at Speyer, do you remember? That restored cathedral that we all hated so.
Oh, thank God. Hey, you know where the Cathedral Guadalupe is?
Never heard of it.
Welcome to your new home, Ben. This is a cathedral of knowledge. Every major explorer has added to its glory.
Mister, a grand procession makes its way through the streets of Florence, terminating at the cathedral where mass is
Why
held.
do you insist on stating what every child of 3 already knows?
Why do
Brunelleschi was one, and he created the most majestic cathedral in Europe. If you believe Becky betrayed us.
Francesca prepared her famous ragu for the Inquisitors. She heard a knock at the cathedral door.
Igalo, a handsome cordwainer.
Class ring, college ring, New York something.
Yeah, it was red with a cathedral imprinted on it.
The University of New York.
There's been a murder in a church downtown.
Oh, too bad it wasn't in a cathedral. It'd be so T.S. Eliot. Huh? Murder in the cathedral? Thomas Becket? Becket and Becket?
Well...
Nothing? She wanted a church wedding, but it's also last minute, so...
Say no more. You're getting married at St. Ignatius in the big cathedral.
Approximately 8 p.m. last night on the northbound tracks of the Cathedral Heights metro station. D.C. police have ruled the death an accident.
Fatal.
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 Fatal. Fatal.
To close the gender gap.
How bad is the gap?
It's fatal. It's fatal. It's fatal.
It's a fatal flaw. Fatal flaw. Fatal flaw.
Fatal. Hazel Grace, they don't actually hurt you unless you light them.
So bad.
It would be fatal. Be fatal. Be fatal.
The wound's not fatal. At least not until the infection sets in.
You see, I had made a fatal error. I'd been merciful.
The killer would need Peter to be insensate before delivering the fatal shot, but a drug other than heroin...
This was the fatal blow, if I had to guess, but it was a rough ride under that car.
Pushchair's touch can not only heal, but also be fatal.
By which, I mean every single witness suffered some sort of fatal accident.
A few times.
Good.
But not a fatal hit, it seems. I did manage to gather some tissue from the ground, blood and such.
You think you could steal from the Dark One and live? Fatal mistake, dearie.
Assess. Assess.
Assess. Assess. Assess.
Sheet of paper. I would like to assess where your individual writing skills
What
are.
if we ain't got no paper?
His blood type is AB negative. Cholesterol levels.
Baymax, you scanned him?
I am programmed to assess everyone's healthcare needs.
The way he plays the game reveals his state of mind. If you won't let me assess him one-on-one, I need some other way to know what he's feeling.
Watch the procedural bars on the 208. Our machine assesses the threat and acts.
If there's a department that's underperforming, then I go in and assess the extraneous manpower.
And we assess damages in the sum of $800,000 in compensatory damages and $3 million in punitive damages.
Until we can assess the cause, demonic or otherwise, we'd best seal off the convent.
It's okay, I just need to keep her talking.
What you trying to assess?
Hey, don't tell me how to do my job, okay?
Walker's out there. We need to find it fast. Assess what our approach should be. I'd like a recommendation on my desk in 2 hours.
They didn't. We conduct random checks to assess security.
Sorry about that. I had to assess other security issues that were in play. Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Just a quick walk through to assess repair. Shouldn't take too long.
Parallel.
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 Parallel. Parallel.
They're still existing, but it's in a parallel time. Parallel time. Parallel time. Just don't think about it.
You got me thinking. There's a real parallel here.
Great. Parallel, parallel, parallel. Not interested.
Listen, don't dismiss the idea out of spite.
Dream. Magical artifacts in parallel world, parallel world, parallel worlds.
Yeah, it was a lot more than that.
Is there any possibility in this knowable cosmos or any alternative parallel cosmos where you might... is there any chance I'm your type?
We're tracking from parallel streets.
Over those hills where the river ran parallel. Rocky terrain provides protection.
Run my parallel. Copy.
Copy.
Hold.
You just like the parallel. Primitive aftercare for a primitive sport.
Instead, I'm going to conduct my own parallel investigation alongside yours.
So what you're saying is we're living in a parallel universe, just like when I time traveled before.
Terrible.
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 Terrible. Terrible. You look terrible. You look terrible.
Thanks.
It's your brother's fault.
Oh, I don't think that would be a good idea.
It's a terrible idea. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. Right now. But there's no use looking behind at the terrible choices you've made. Better to look forward at the consequences of the terrible choices you've made.
After everything I told you about my self-control issues, you're supposed to be my rock.
Yeah, well, I'm a terrible rock, okay? At best, I'm a leaf.
I'm very sorry about your friend Craig. That's a terrible thing that happened.
I tried so hard not to love you.
How do you make out?
Terrible.
What the hell's going on out here?
He's putting on some kind of terrible play.
I may be forced to do terrible things. I have done terrible things.
I don't care.
Drowning my sorrows in a good workout.
Oh, that's a terrible idea. Of course, I feel terrible about that. I'm sorry I put you guys in danger.
No! You bad panda! I'll get you for this. My vengeance will be terrible! Terrible!
Can hear our voices before she go to sleep.
Terrible idea.
Unlike the timelessness of cashmere.
Enough with the cashmere. Why is it a terrible idea?
Don't you remember the answering machine message? We can't get it right. I feel terrible. We gotta do something.
Airport.
Airport. Airport. Airport.
Airport.
Brady Bunch out of the most watched city in the world. Asked about 100 militia at the airport. The airport. That's right.
You're being distracted. Like at the Quebec airport. Airport.
Would you ever go into a store and take something without paying for it?
No.
If you got lost in an airport, what would you do?
Find a policeman and ask him to help.
Just a cup of coffee. But Julian wants me to take you guys to the airport. Julian can go fuck himself.
I spoke to Marinon on the way from the airport. The federal police are getting involved.
High power. Holy shit. It never happened. Matter of fact, I want you to find your boy at the airport PD.
We got Chen at the airport trying to flee. He's going away for life.
I'm not moving you. Peter's moving you.
Not true.
We're gonna be late for the airport.
No, I'll hold it.
No, I got it.
Blanca had to take your sister to the airport.
The airport?
Terminal Internacional.
Stevie's not at the airport.
I will see him.
Please prepare for landing.
I'm sorry. I'm going to need that back.
When do you think we'll be in Caracas? I have family meeting me at the airport.
You managed to find us.
I didn't even know they had an airport out here.
I know, it surprises everyone. Hi.
It was so nice of you to come all the way down to the airport to pick me up.
No trouble at all.
I drove, Mother. I'm driving now.
Teenager.
Teenager.
Teenager. Teenager.
Teenager.
Are you Harold and Kumar?
No, I'm a teenager, and I go to high school, so...
I'm so over this!
Oh, teenagers.
And yes, it's true. Teenagers need self-confidence.
Well, what did you hear then?
I heard a typical teenager in the process of forming her self-identity.
She just pushes back so hard.
Of course she does. She's a teenager.
12. Don't you rush me.
We have overreacted. But I don't think you should worry about Lucy being upset with you. She's about to be a teenager.
What do you mean to your mother when you were a teenager?
Stay focused.
So, Mr. Schiff, what was my mom like as a teenager?
Yeah, he's gloomy. He's a teenager.
Silas is a teenager. You want to hear his word cloud?
May I ask, how does a teenager evade an international search?
I think you know why I'm here. Look, I'm sorry about my son. He's a teenager. His mother's very ill.
Hey, Brennan said this was a teenager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. These clothing scraps look hand-stitched. I mean, how did he die?
She is a teenager. Someone or something crushed her skull.
So you're saying she was a teenager?
I'd posit 16 or 17 years of age.
Supplier.
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 All you gotta do is give me the name of your supplier. Your supplier. Your supplier. I'll see to it you rot here in dignity.
They were just delivered last week.
So who else knew about that delivery?
Just my staff and our supplier.
Look, you gotta give all the names of your suppliers to Look, Kayla here.
Right.
Since the new embargo, he's been shopping for a new weapons supplier.
You know, make ends meet, but his supplier was the real deal.
Arm. Every supplier you worked with, all your trafficking associates.
And the Russian FSB identified the supplier as Mikhail Yursky.
There's a supplier out of the Philippines bringing in a big shipment. Top of the line semi-autos.
Every supplier you worked with, all your trafficking associates. Everyone you've ever sold weapons to.
Adopt.
Adopt. Adopt. Adopt.
Adopt.
Best I've seen yet. All right. When are you going to adopt me? Adopt me. Adopt me.
Sorry,
That's what I meant. But also, you know, I would totally adopt you. Totally adopt you. Totally adopt you. You know,
Maybe your parents could adopt me. Could adopt me.
Yeah.
They'd be like, what do we get mad? Nothing. We killed the baby. And then if I ever wanted to, like, adopt a baby.
So I was wanting to know if you want to babysit, you know, adopt 3 of them for you.
A young, single mother and a kid. I marry her, I adopt them.
You fell in love. Don't you dare forget that part.
Her name was Cheyenne. She was barely older than you are. It can cost a fortune to adopt.
Let's adopt.
Thanks.
Oh, don't be so suicidal. We can always adopt.
I wanted to have a child of our own, you know that.
What does it matter whose DNA it is? The diapers are still going to smell the same regardless.
I just prefer not to adopt, okay? Well, I've heard enough, Mr. Beale. If Libby here likes us as much as we like her, we should just go ahead and move to adopt her baby girl.
You feel married?
We feel like Tanya and David Mayburn, a happy couple trying to adopt a 6-month-old from Al Bashir in Sudan.
Barber.
Barber. Barber.
Barber. Barber.
Heck no. Bunch of psychos in this town.
Cause some kind of commotion up at the barbershops.
Oh, we're wackos, huh? You come in here in your fancy suit and your boofed up hairdo and you can't even figure out what barber you want to cut your hair.
Hang on. That's no good. No. Can't have that show. I need a barbershop. Where's the barbershop at?
Is that him? Looks like T.D. Barber.
All right.
You are done, Mr. Silver.
Don't make your martyrs a secret. You can always try barber surgeon.
Dope, that's fucking weird.
What's really weird is I'd never used the same garage with the same barber. Regardless, she let me know she knew this and more about me. It's enough to get my ear.
Oh, it's weird not seeing you and Tom together.
Oh, yeah, well, he has barbershop at night, so it didn't work out.
And what was your profession, Mr. Turner?
Daddy was the finest barber in Covent Garden.
How?
You see, the thing is, I'm not just a barber, Max.
Go. It's just a whole mess of fat and weirdly placed hair. It's like somebody dropped a glazed ham in a barber shop.
I need a minute with you. Where's your team?
Got him sitting on the location.
Who's this?
Benjamin Barber.
I think Lyle did this.
The town barber makes bombs?
He's always been a crafty guy, and he's gone crazier than a rat in a jar since the dome came down.
He's smart.
First of May. We're no first of May. This is Laval. He's our 24-hour man. Laval, meet Buck and Wanda Moose Jaw. They do a barber act. Moose Jaw?
Instinct. Instinct.
instinct, instinct, instinct.
Why is your instinct to escape?
That's not my instinct to escape from you. It is my instinct to come into the bathroom when I need to go to the bathroom.
Here to babysit?
Huh. Zero maternal instinct. Instinct.
Boys, I reacted by instinct. By instinct. By instinct.
Yeah, like the instinct of a sophomore in high school.
Right.
Take that knife. It's all about instinct.
You know, like a pro. Hell of an instinct, Mikey. You showed me a lot back then. Yeah, I really did.
He fell out the window, and your first instinct wasn't to call 911, but to run away.
Intel is sometimes wrong. You have to use your judgment, your instinct, because as fast as you possibly can.
Yeah, see, that was my first instinct, too, but...
Laurel? I get the feeling that if I did tell her, that would be when you kill me.
Trust that instinct.
Instinct.
It's like you said. Instinct. Why are you pissed? I did it. Why does...
This diary is only part of the story.
How do you know that?
Because... instinct?
Crisis.
Crisis.
Crisis,
Crisis.
crisis.
Also out in the rain. Either one could have triggered the crisis.
Crisis, crisis, crisis.
He's a sickler.
Guys, we need to be supportive of Shifu's apparent midlife crisis. Midlife crisis. Midlife crisis.
I'm not going out with you to Titty Boy.
You gotta come with us. Look,
No,
Carl
I
needs you. He's in crisis. Crisis.
I just got hit by a car, right?
Yeah.
Come on, blow off your 6 p.m. and get a drink with me.
You don't want to be burdened by some 37-year-old woman's midlife crisis, believe me.
We must come together and face this crisis head on. I kept the oxygen crisis from you.
Maybe he's having some midlife crisis, and he's with some stewardess in Bora Bora, and he's too ashamed to call home and say that he's okay.
Flash missing, vanishes in crisis.
It's a good thing.
You know I'm breeding Samson.
Great. Vega's in crisis, and you're concentrating on the mating habits of a lion.
Moving on.
I'd rather not.
We're in a crisis, Frost. Please.
Oh, please, I'm in crisis mode. You're down a man. I'm more than happy to pitch in.
Yeah, well, that hostage crisis was rough on everyone.
Sit down.
Aunt Deb, we'd love to, but we're in the middle of a culinary crisis right now.
I don't know. Maybe he'll check in at the crisis center. You can check after the thing.
No, I'm afraid we're closed. Whatever crisis you're dealing with, I'm done for the day.
Interpret.
Interpret. Interpret. Interpret. Interpret.
This is your first assignment. The loom provides. I interpret. I interpret. I interpret. You deliver.
Anyway, there's nothing for him to interpret. We didn't.
In conclusions. And only then, and with religious trepidation, do we attempt to interpret.
Yes, I'm aware, but microscopic pathological changes are harder to interpret once the organs start decomposing.
We'll only be gone 45 minutes. They'll keep.
Nice guys really do eat the best pussy.
Not really sure how to interpret that. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Because what is seeing? You're looking, but what you're really doing is filtering, interpreting, searching for meaning.
If it's transmitted, it goes through echelon. It's cataloged, interpreted, and then stored for Homeland Security.
I interpret from Mr. Erickson's gesture that he acquiesces.
Bouddha's B sample?
I'm lead analyst at Edgar Labs. We test and interpret samples for all U.S. applicants.
So that's a yes?
First of all, hands up, who's heard of the Lightning Group? All right. Well, we are scientists who interpret human emotions, and this morning, with your help, I'm going to run an experiment, which should be quite informative, so...
Why? What's the point? How are we supposed to interpret the story, and why would we want to?
Like what? Something about you? Something you could interpret as being about you? An anagram, maybe?
Cortisol levels look normal. We were wrong.
Which House will interpret as him being right. He's going to make us biopsy the pituitary gland.
Isolate.
Isolate.
Isolate. Isolate.
Isolate.
210. Isolate, isolate, isolate. Get baseline blood draws for smallpox antibodies and vaccinate the entire family.
Years ago, there was an incident.
What kind of incident?
Living alone in a building on the edge can isolate a person, isolate a person, isolate a person.
Everything the Greys do is intended to divide us from one another, to isolate, to isolate, to isolate the one they've chosen.
Copy that. Now, vision 1. What about vision 2?
Bailab rebreather. Isolate the oxygen.
Shut it off. All right.
Isolate Rebecca, miss.
With the lockdown, even if they find a way to isolate the lesser populated stations, people will die.
Going over the detention center's incoming calls. I'm trying to isolate who put in Bellows' visitation request.
That drug was delivered?
It was in something he drank. I found lots of whey protein isolate in his stomach, along with chocolate.
He's after me. Do you think you can isolate that?
That sounds like water.
Yeah. I managed to get a sample of the perpetrator's blood from the police department. We need to isolate a sedative in the blood. It could lead us to the thief. If I had a DNA sample I was unable to fully break down, do you think you could isolate the genetic markers for me? What's the sample from? The Canary's murder.
Don't lose hope. It might take us past Friday to isolate the discrepancies in the books.
We've been able to isolate the firestorm matrix inside the subject's cellular structure.
Excellent.
Enhance.
Enhance. Enhance. Enhance. Enhance.
Only kidding. Only kidding. Just a little levity to enhance the teamwork. Enhance the teamwork. Enhance the teamwork.
His iCard reflection. Can you enhance? Can you enhance? Can you enhance?
It hurts me that you feel the need to ask.
No, it's a team guy thing. We do it to boost energy, enhance brain function. Hey, enhance brain function. Enhance brain function. Enhance brain function. You should try it. Maybe you think more clearly.
No.
Enhance it.
Trozo.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting you abandon Da Vinci's counsel. I'm suggesting you enhance it. There.
Graham, police technicians were able to enhance the audio so we could discern some of what Titus was saying.
I was mucking about with some of your software. I was trying to enhance the video. Thought if I could zoom in on the shooter's eyes, I might be able to determine the color.
Why did she want surgery?
She wanted to enhance her appearance.
One vote.
Okay, good. Stabilize that image and then enhance it. See if we can't get a better look at who did this.
Send me mugshots of every known canon associate. I ran him against our enhanced image, but no matches.
Right there. Enhance that car.
Yeah, the window reflectors in it.
Maybe.
Let me enhance this and get an image of the landscape outside.
This communicator, highly tuned to all manner of Ishveni communications. This will enhance our ability to cut through enemy firewalls to contact Volm reinforcements light years away.
Potent revenue stream whose synergy will enhance both the status and the financial base of the Molly's brand.
Desperate.
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 Sane, now she's gonna think I'm desperate. You've destroyed this relationship.
Severed from the organism and tossed away. Desperate act of a little man with a big Napoleon complex.
Alexei, you look desperate. It's not attractive.
Are you ready to meet some desperate women? Here, have a seat. It's too...
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want to seem desperate.
You're great with kids, and we're both so desperate for money we'll wear other people's tights.
Oh, if what you're offering me now, in this, my most desperate moment is rejection, I might just
break out here in your office with your nice new windows.
Ando for the job.
Because he was desperate for money.
Yeah, but how did they know that? How did they know his background?
I gotta ask myself if what I'm hearing isn't a desperate cry for the sweet release from death.
Your mother's desperate to see you. I'm glad Tristane's coming with us. He seems like a nice boy.
Seems you underestimated us again.
I underestimated how desperate they must be if you're this important to them now.
It sounds like Will. Civil War's almost over. He's getting desperate. Claire, is he allowed to be in here?
Excellent.
Excellent.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
Hey, you. You in Paris?
Yes, I am.
Good, good. Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
And civilians were massacred. The alleged shooter was killed also.
Excellent.
Excellent?
Excellent.
Excellent?
Excellent.
Excellent? That's a good thing? No.
Excellent. Excellent. Excellent.
And now I'm breaking all
Me? Yeah, I am excellent. Is this a bad time?
It's an excellent time. How about now?
Not as much.
Excellent.
She stock blocked me.
Excellent work, Miss Harris.
Excellent.
Excellent. Now, Poe, Panda, are you eating in here?
Keep it moving. That one.
Excellent choice.
Is the dumbest idea you've...
Excellent. It'll give me an excuse to wear the false beard I won in that mahjong tournament.
Determination.
Determination. Determination.
Determination.
Determination.
Determination builds to take another life. He plans in obsessive detail.
We may have seen better days, but with hard work, determination, and a little luck, one day we'll be back on top.
The members of this committee will now confer and come to a determination. Determination. Determination.
The thing I like about you is your determination.
I am in awe of your determination to succeed in this great country of ours.
The jury makes that determination, not the witness.
We can make those determinations here now that we know where to look, can't we, Dr. Perez?
It is the CDC's determination, were it not for the defective gloves, the patients in question would not have been infected.
I thought we stopped you. How did you get through? Determination.
Brave Sonny started here and approached the incredibly deadly Viper with single-minded determination.
Baggage.
Baggage.
Baggage. Baggage. Baggage.
Damn laborers on this thing, man. And the night that fish goes into that hole, you think he wants to carry all that extra baggage? Baggage. Baggage. Because that's all we are.
Thanks, Daryl. I know I got a lot of baggage, but don't worry, I'm seeing a therapist. Just kidding, I'm fine.
68 to Boston. All passengers...
Sorry. Get rid of some excess baggage. Baggage.
Your attention, please. Baggage for train number 22 is now available at carousel number 4. Baggage for train number 22 is now available at carousel 4.
Personal.
Let's talk. I could use a session with you, Doc. Seem to be carrying around a lot of baggage these days.
Hey, you okay?
This men and their baggage.
Not gonna be hard to find another one just as useful as you, with less baggage.
We would have made him a federal judge if the GOP hadn't blocked it.
That's an important point. Dunbar's got grit. She's more than qualified.
There's no baggage there.
But she's more unpredictable.
She'd had a tough life. She had a lot of baggage, which I did too.
Ability.
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 Ability. Ability.
I know for a fact that Chaucer is mortified by that haircut.
Deeks,
You do not have the ability to talk to dogs.
If he sees his daughter, I need you to calm him. I don't want trouble getting him to the gurney. Do you understand?
To the best of my ability, I will. To the best of my ability, I will. To the best of my ability, I will.
I don't know, it's just this ability you have. How do you make love outlast passion?
It's irrelevant. What I owe them is not my compassion, it's my ability.
Mrs. Florrick, you are asking something of me that goes beyond my ability.
Thank you, Colonel.
Until Tom told me they were having an affair.
Is your client planning to say anything based on fact?
She's answering the questions to the best of her ability.
If there was one thing Mrs. Huber was known for, it was her ability to look on the bright side. Yes, in the world of investments, my husband had a remarkable ability to see the future.
Got a message for you, Paul Young.
Here, let me try.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about your ability to fuse metal.
Hey, it's Funny's cousin, not funny.
Division. Why?
Well, Nick here speaks very highly of your ability to get information.
People can't keep secrets from me.
When they gave you the ability to kill, they also gave you the ability to protect.
So you won't tell me what's bothering you?
Sean, I told you this has nothing to do with you.
I'd say it does. If it affects the hit on Semak, it affects my ability to protect you.
How is that my fault?
You have destroyed my ability to tolerate idiots. Now come with me.
I'm a scientist. My ability to think is my bread and butter. I'm afraid if I take this, I might lose that special, unique something that makes me so successful in my field.